Welcome to my fantasy football podcast. I will be talking about how I can help you and your team get better for your next opponent. I will also be recapping both first weeks of the NFL and looking through the player stats. I will also talk about who you need to keep and drop for your fantasy football team. First, let me give you a little background of how I started fantasy football. I started fantasy football about a year ago. We only had one league with about 6 people in it. At that time, I never knew how fantasy football really worked. Now, I have 6 leagues that I'm in, and they have more than 12 people in almost all of them. Fantasy football has become a really popular thing in the past few years. I will also be interviewing Evan Greiner, and he is a crucial part to the first league. He was the person that gave me the idea for the fantasy football league. Everyone that played in the NFL is mostly famous. All the players, all the coaches, almost everybody. Some famous football players that you might have heard of is like Joe Montana, which he retired in 1995, or Jerry Rice, which he retired in 2004. You might have heard of them. Or some things you say playing football, like, oh, he just got mossed, or he just Odell'd that. Both of those things both have a meaning behind them, like they both came from 2 different people. The Moss came from Randy Moss, one of the greatest wide receivers ever. He retired in 2012. And Odell, that came from Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. has made it to the top with all the great wide receivers. Currently, he is still playing right now for the Los Angeles Rams. Now you know a little history about me starting fantasy football and some famous players in the NFL. Now I will be interviewing Evan Greiner.
That sounds bad.
And now I'm here with Evan Greiner. How's your weekend been so far?
Good. How's yours been?
It's been pretty good. Did you go to the game last night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys had a very good first quarter and decent in the second, but you came out in the second half and kind of just lost it.
Yeah. Well, we just weren't as prepared as they were. So how's your fantasy been doing this week?
They did very good the past 2 weeks. We're still going this weekend here for the games.
Yeah.
But the past 2 weekends, I'm 2-0. I had some good drafts picks. Got a lot of weapons.
What are some of your big threats that you have?
Well, in one of my leagues, I have Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs with Kyler Murray, which can be a hit or miss right there, but usually he does pretty good.
Yeah.
And I have some faith in him. In my second league, I also drafted Kyler Murray. I got Cooper Kupp, Mark Andrews, St. Brown, which has been doing very good for me the past 2 weeks, and Dalvin Cook, pretty decent pick. All around great team.
So what do you think about Justin Jefferson? He came first in week 1.
Yeah, he's a great player. His team helped him a lot, especially Kirk Cousins. He was throwing dimes all day.
Yeah.
Got Justin Jefferson the ball, and he just did his work.
What are some other threats that the Vikings have?
You got Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook, obviously the main 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it for their team, though.
So do you think the Vikings have a chance to go to the playoffs?
Oh, yeah, easily.
What
If
about-
Justin Jefferson keeps doing this, every week, he's going to lead them to the playoffs. They might lose, but they get to the playoffs.
Yeah. What about Super Bowl? You think they'll make it?
I think they'll get, I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, but I think they'll make it to the playoffs, make it to the second week of playoffs and lose. Because they're going to get defeated by some of the great teams in the league right now. And we'll just see how it goes.
Yep. So number 2, Patrick Mahomes. He got number 2 in week 1. What do you think?
Great player. Best quarterback in the league right now. Going out to say that. And he just proves that he doesn't need Tyreek Hill to be able to win games. Now he's passing to different people, getting people to work for him. They're going out, getting the passes. Easy. And they're easy Super Bowl contender.
So you think they're just going to blow right past the playoffs?
Yes.
All right. So would you say you're a Chiefs fan?
Yes.
Like,
very much.
Die-hard Chiefs fan?
Yeah.
All right. And for number 3, we surprisingly have Saquon Barkley up there. What do you have to say about it?
I mean, past few seasons, he's been a good running back. Not really top running back, but he showed in week 1 that he still got it. Coming out there doing work. Got the dub by 1 point against the Tennessee Titans.
Yep. Super Bowl MVP, number 4 on week 1, Cooper Kupp. Tell me about him.
Great player. Cooper Kupp going out there proves that he's top dog in receivers, one of the top. Even though they did lose by 21 points, he played a great game. Matt Stafford was throwing a lot of interceptions, couldn't really get him the ball too much. I feel like if Matt Stafford wasn't throwing so many interceptions, they could have won that game.
Yeah. So, number 5, Josh Allen. Tell me about him.
Great quarterback, obviously. He can run, pass the ball. He showed that in the game against the Rams. But people do say he's better than Patrick Mahomes, which I think is false because statistically and just like playmaking ability, Patrick Mahomes is way better.
Do you think Josh Allen is still scared of coin tosses?
Yes, very much.
Now I'm on week 2. Let's see what Evan has to say about the week. All right, now that we're on week 2, tell me about him. Stephon Diggs, the man, number 1. Tell me about him.
Great receiver. As we can see, 44 points. That's just insane from Stephon Diggs. Did great. Josh Allen giving the ball and letting Stephon Diggs do his thing. Caused them to get the dub.
Yep. So what helped Stephon Diggs get his points, even though he only had 148 yards?
Well, he had 12 catches, 3 touchdowns, which is very insane, especially in the NFL, just because of the amount of skill that the DBs have. It's just very hard.
Do you think the Titans had a really good defense?
Decent.
Decent. All right, Lamar Jackson. He surprised all of us. Tell me about him.
He played a great game. This running back, quarterback, came out here, proved that he could throw and run the ball. You know, he does it all. Got 42 points, popped off, still lost. Miami just played a great game. Nothing more to say about him.
Yeah. All right after Lamar Jackson, we have Tyreek Hill, number 3. Tell me about him.
I mean, he is a great wide receiver. Gives the Dolphins a good chance at the playoffs. He proved that he breaks defenses. Came back to win the game.
Yeah. Do you still think Tyreek Hill is the fastest NFL player all time?
No, because there's people like Bo Jackson, number 2 in the 40 time. You know, Chris Johnson. They're running crazy 40 times that are on a different level from Tyreek. But Tyreek is top 5 at least. He shows that, and that's just what he does.
Tell me about him. Jalen Waddle. Surprised us all, number 4. Tell me about him.
Didn't really surprise me. He shows that he can be a great receiver alongside Tyreek Hill. I have a feeling Tyreek Hill's going to teach him some things. And they obviously both are great wide receivers, getting over 40 points each. Just went crazy. Tua, proving that he can get that ball out.
Yeah. All right, tell me about Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He's a great wide receiver. He's young. He's got a lot of time ahead of him. He can obviously prove that he can catch the ball, do things with that ball, and just prove that he can help win games alongside Jared Goff.
So I heard you had him on your fantasy?
Yes, he did very good, getting 35 points, and just got me the dub.
Yeah. All right, we were only going to do top 5, but I just felt like I had to add number 6 in there. Tua, tell me about him. Dolphins quarterback. Tell me about him.
I mean, he proves that he can get the ball out there. I mean, He's underthrown a lot of the passes. Tyreek Hill has helped him out a lot, coming back, catching them, and still getting those yards. But he did prove that he can do it and be a top dog out there.
So now we're going to talk about who you need on your fantasy team. Who do you think you should do your first pick on your fantasy football team?
Either, I would say, go for quarterback or a running back. Those are the main things that'll get you some points because receivers usually have on and off days. I mean, that Justin Jefferson proved that. He did very good in week 1. Week 2, kind of didn't do much. Got 1 catch for 7 yards. Didn't do much. Got locked up.
Now, which running backs and quarterbacks are you talking about?
I mean, I'd have to go with, like, Patrick Mahomes up there. Josh Allen is up there. Tua. I mean, you got to pick him if he's your only choice. You got Justin Hurts. I have a feeling he's going to do some stuff this year. Very good projected points. He'll help you a lot. For running backs, Saquon proved he can do it in the first week. Comes back second week, doesn't really do much. He might just something happen in week 2. But I would say Dalvin Cook would be a very good pick. Jonathan Taylor, decent pick right there. Usually does very good. And I think those are like the top dogs right there that you need to get.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about like Nick Chubb, Najee Harris, or Derrick Henry? What about them?
Honestly, I completely forgot about them. Thanks for catching that. Great picks right there. Najee Harris, a good young running back that's going to get a lot of time with the Steelers and just is going to do work. Nick Chubb proved year after year that he is still a top dog. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yep. Which defense do you think you would pick?
I mean, I picked the Bills. I had a feeling that they were going to do very good. They gave me some points. Overall, they're a great team, so that's what I picked. I've seen other people go with the Rams, which didn't really work out in week 1, obviously. I mean, I think that it's really the 2 top dogs, but there are a few others that you can pick.
Yeah. What about some wide receivers? What do you think are some good wide receivers you could pick?
Justin Jefferson is up there. Cooper Kupp is up there. Jamar Chase is up there. Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're all great wide receivers. Devontae Adams is also up there, but he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers now, which is going to hurt his stats a lot during fantasy. So that's an iffy pick right there. But any of the others, pretty good picks right there.
Thank you, Evan, for hopping on this podcast. And hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you. You too. Thanks for letting me join.
Yep. Thank you to my sponsor, Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I hope you guys liked it. Have a good rest of the day.